Alright guys, out here today again for another rattlesnake call. You can see we're at a chicken coop this time. We have not found the snake yet. I figured I'd turn you guys on as I start poking around here. There's a ton of hiding spots around this little shed slash chicken coop, so let's see if we can't find them. Alright guys, so here's what it looks like. A couple chickens in there, and it does look like they have some sort of snake fencing up down here at the bottom. Or it could possibly be so raccoons or something can't dig underneath, but quite a few places in there for a snake to hide, but I don't see anything. And I imagine those chickens would be raising a fuss if it was inside. So let's do a scope around this edge here. A couple big flat rocks would be a likely spot. Don't see anything up in there. If it's underneath there, if it's up in there, we're gonna have a heck of a time finding it. This would be another great spot. It's super hot out right now. It's the middle of the day. Should probably poke around in here. At this point, we're just hoping he rattles, because if he's underneath any of this stuff, we're not gonna be able to really see him. I've seen before where they actually come underneath lawnmowers. Nothing underneath there. What's this side look like before we get too deep in there? Some more weeds. Again, there's a big hole there. Okay, so I can actually see the other side, and it doesn't look like he's underneath there. Oh, right here. Look right here. Right here. There's all these high weeds. We started this video standing right next to that tree. And that snake is laying right here. Got a new pair of tongs here. These are Pillstrom tongs. We're gonna try these out. We're gonna pull this snake out here, and then I'll show you a little better look at the tongs once I get this snake out. There it is. That's a gorgeous yellow phase timber rattlesnake. That's a good sized one too. Let me grab the bucket, get him in a bucket here before he gets away. Alright guys, you might recognize this house from a video we did last year where we removed a big timber rattlesnake from the children's pool up by the garage. But today, check out this clip the homeowner sent me from right here. So that was this morning. We're gonna poke around here, see if we can't find that snake. This isn't the first time they've seen it there, but this is the first time they were able to get a video of it. It must hang out right in this area. We're gonna look and see if we can find it. We're gonna catch it. We're gonna put it in the bucket. And we're gonna try to relocate it somewhere just down the road. That way the snake's not gonna die, but they also don't want to hang it out around their house, especially with that little kid you saw in the video around. Not too many places for it to hide here. That would be a likely spot, but I don't see him there. Alright, so there's not too many places up front there. Behind that door would be the most likely, but it wasn't there. We're going to peek back in here by the chimney. And we're going to take a look underneath here. But they've also seen it over by this door too, so let's see if we can't find it there. Nothing in there. A boot like this would be a nice spot for a snake to hang out. Uh-oh. This boot is way heavier than this boot. Uh-oh, can you see that down in there? This snake is balled up in the bottom of this boot. And it looks like a good sized one, and I don't know how we're gonna get him out. He is wedged up in there good, and I'm afraid if I put my hand in there, he's gonna latch onto me. We're gonna have to try it. There he is, guys. That is another black snake. Uh-oh, and he is mad. Whoa. This is actually a black rat snake, and he is mad that I just pulled him out of his boot. He's a good size one. I'm gonna try to pick him up here without getting bit by him, but he can strike pretty darn far. You see, he is not happy at all. But that is a long snake, and that is not what you want to find in your boot when you slip it on in the morning. Something has to live in this rock cave, correct? Let's take a peek in here and see what we find. And there is a black-faced timber rattlesnake. He's not very happy to see me, but I still think we should take a closer look at this guy. Let's grab the snake tongs, let's get him pulled out, and let's get a better look at him. Now, if you thought he was angry before, watch what happens when I try to pull this snake out. He just struck. Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Now that we got that out of the way, we'll pull him out here and get a little better look at him. This is a black-faced timber rattlesnake. It's a relatively small one. It is a juvenile, and he cannot wait to get back underneath his hole. It's crazy how fast they can be when they need to be. Woo. All right, guys, it's the first day of venomous snake season, and we are headed out to try to find some rattlesnakes, possibly even a copperhead. The conditions are not great, but we're going to give it a try. We're also entered into a snake hunt, which is like a tournament. It's no kill, you catch and release, but you basically catch a snake that you think could win, you turn it in, and then you have to release it within 24 hours. But they kind of have a little tournament, and we'll go over some of the rules and how they work it as we go along. So stay tuned. All right, guys, headed up this rock gut here, and we just found this. There's a big skin, but fortunately there's no snake wearing it. But you can see here, once they shed, this is what it looks like. Just like a thin piece of paper almost. It's wet out right now, but see, that was a decent sized snake. Definitely rattlesnake skin, but we know we're in the right area. We're gonna continue working up through here, see what else we can find. All right, guys, we got another one right here. Doesn't look that big, but let's see. No, he's not big, but we'll see if we can't. We might not even mess with him here. We're just gonna let him go back underneath there. But you can see he's a younger snake because he's got a pointy tail there, pointy rattle. Once they get older, they get a flattened off rattle. We're gonna keep looking. All right, guys, so we just showed you that snake right here. We took a couple more steps, and right down in here is another big snake skin, rattlesnake skin. We're not going to pull it out. We're just going to keep going here because I know there's probably more snakes up ahead. All right, guys. He says he sees one right here. I can't see it yet, but he's going to pull it out for us. All right, guys. There he is. Got another one right here. Set him down up here by this rock. I don't think he's a legal snake, but he's actually not bad sized. But pretty good sized rattle on him too, and good colored snake. You just let him down there. We'll let him go. I don't think he's worth measuring. We're gonna put him right back in the same hole we pulled him out from. just made it over here to this next rock pile, and I can look up in front of me here and I can see another decent sized black rattlesnake laying up ahead. Let's try to get a little bit closer without scaring him under the rocks. Right there he is, guys. It's a little black phase one. Not super tiny, but not super big by any means. Pretty pale in color. All right, guys, I see the fourth snake right there. There could be two of them there, but I'm gonna try to sneak over there without spooking them off. See if we can get a better look at them. Gonna let the camera roll. Just watch my step between here and there. This is a real pretty black phase here, it looks like. I know there's definitely more around here, so I'm just being real careful with each step. There he is. That's a good size one, actually. That's a pretty darn big one. So we parked in a well-known rattlesnake area, and we were sitting in the truck, eating some snacks and getting a drink before we headed back out looking for rattlesnakes. And that's when this conservation officer pulled in next to us. They ensured that we had our proper permits and license to be out rattlesnake hunting. We showed them our proper paperwork, talked with them about rattlesnakes for a few minutes, and after that, they were on their way to hopefully find some more rattlesnake hunters to check and make sure they were also following the laws. We left the truck, and it didn't take long for us to find the first big snake of the day. All right, guys, we just found this big yellow phase right here by this culvert, and we're gonna measure him, gonna tube him, see what his length is, and make sure he's a male. He looks like a male, but we're just gonna make sure, and then we might end up turning this snake into the hunt. We'll see. Got this snake measured. It's 50 inches. Has 22 subcaudal scales, so we are going to turn this in. It probably won't win, but it's worth a shot. It's a crappy day. Not a lot of guys are probably finding snakes, so we're going to give it a shot. All right, guys, we are on the way to the snake hunt to turn in our snake. And there he is. So at these rattlesnake roundups, hunters must have the proper permits and licensing to hunt rattlesnakes in the first place, as well as registering through the hunt to get a temporary provisional tag that's only good for the weekend of the rattlesnake hunt. The snake that you see her pulling out of the bucket now is my entry into the tournament. Rattlesnake roundups for timber rattlesnakes, which is what these are much different than some of the rattlesnake roundups you've seen in the southern part of the United States, where they actually round the rattlesnakes up and kill them. This hunt and tournament is a no-kill tournament, and all snakes must be released within 24 hours of when you capture them. People gather around the snake pit area as the snake handlers inside of the pit measure and weigh the snakes. Each rattlesnake is also chipped and tagged so they can be tracked in the future if they would get turned into another rattlesnake hunt, to track and progress the growth and health of the snakes. The only safe and effective way to handle rattlesnakes is once you get their head in this clear plastic tube, they are no longer able to turn around and bite you. Therefore, you can safely handle and measure the snakes as needed. In this clip, they're checking to see if my snake has been turned in the past by running this transmitter over the snake to see if there's a chip already inside of it. In this clip, they're checking the gender of the snake to ensure that it is a male. You are only allowed to turn in males to these hunts. Then the snake goes back in the bucket and handed back to me to release it. All right, guys, we're back here to release this snake. We turned it into the hunt. You're supposed to release him right where you caught him at. So we're gonna put it right back in this culvert where we found him. All right, guys, we're back here at the same backyard that we were at just a few days ago. There's that same chicken coop we pulled that rattlesnake out of, and when we pulled him out, we took him and let him go 15, 20 yards up in the woods there. Well, just a few days later, we got a call from the homeowner, and he said they have a yellow rattlesnake back, which is exactly what the last one was, and they think it's the same one. This snake's already agitated. As soon as I place my bucket down on this concrete pad, I can already hear him over there. So let's take a walk over and see what we're dealing with. There's a good chance it's the same one, but you never know. There he stopped. Oh, there he is again. Gonna switch hands here. I see him. Probably a nice, cool, shady spot. Look at him laid out in the bottom of that. We're gonna let him go out through there and grab him on the other side. All right, now he's ours. And there he is, guys. Judging at first glance, it does look like the same exact one that we had here the other day. Yeah, I think that's the same one, especially judging by the length of the rattle. But like I said, from right here, you can actually see right there is where he was at last time we were here. So we'll try again. One of these times, I'm sure he'll get tired of getting poked around with, and he's gonna head that way up the mountain instead of back down into the yard. I get this yard's a nice shady area for him, but he can't keep coming back down and hanging out. So that's a good sized snake again.